Okay, so today continuing this process of videos on how to make your business stronger coming out of COVID-19, and when it goes in, we're talking about systemizing your business and how to get processes into your business. Now, systems stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. And what it means is we're going to make the business more efficient, reduce your reliance on the business, and make it consistently running with or without you. And we effectively want to be systemizing the routine and humanizing the exception. And there's probably about 80% of what you do or your team does on a daily basis, which is routine. And you can write a system for it, because you can write a system for anything that your team is involved in or people has human interaction within it. And also think about, if there is a challenge with any part of the business, look at the system first before replacing the people. So we got the correct systems, the correct training, that people know how to do things before we start looking at replacing them. And remember that systems run your business, your people run your systems, and you lead your people. So just click below to see the full video. So the first 4 basic steps we need for setting systems are, number 1 is creating that flow chart. So just an overview of what happens in this process. So the biggest system or process in the business is the customer journey, how we get customers through marketing, through to the sales process, and then looking after them, right through to the invoicing of the business. So flowchart it from a higher level so we can pinpoint where the bottlenecks are along the process, and also how we can improve in the terms of the sales process, how we can increase the conversion rate from one step to another, because there'll be points along that sales process where people fall out. The second point is to document exactly how you do it. So create the process, the system, create the checklist. And we do this by getting the person who does this task most frequently and is most attuned to how to run it and is most skilled at it. They write the system, they write the process. And once they've done that, they give it to the least experienced person of the team for them to follow the instructions and see if they can get through it. And what you'll find is, more often than not, they'll be asking questions like, well, what's this mean? Or how's that work? And this is good because it means that we need to amend the system or amend the process. And once we do that, go through a few iterations of that until finally somebody can go through it, a novice, without having any questions. We then know we've got a simple, effective system that can be used ongoing in the business. So the third step is to make sure that we've got some sort of measure or key performance indicator, effectively the number or the guiding metric, which will tell us whether this system is working or not. So how many customers it processes, how many complaints we have off the back of it, how many errors we have, whatever the number is, to make sure that we know whether it's working or not. And then fourth and finally, we want to make sure that we can review this. So set a date in the diary to review this, perhaps 6 months' time, every quarter of 6 months, just to make sure that firstly it's still working, because things might have changed. Secondly, that people are still using it, and if they're not using it, why is that? Is it because it's too complex? We want to make sure things are simple enough for people to use rather than not use it. So how do we determine what we will start systemizing and what we won't start systemizing? We'll start off with what you do most regularly. What's the most frequent task that you use? It could be answering the phone or answering emails, whatever the task is that you do most often, and write a simple process for that. And once you've done that, hand it over to a lower paid member of staff and get them to start doing it. And once they improve on their skill and their confidence, they can escalate up the career path to a higher paid task. But meanwhile, you're free to focus on that higher paid stuff, the working on the business stuff. Also look at, is there anything you hate doing that you don't want to be doing, and pass that on to somebody else. And some tips I mentioned already about simplify it. Make sure that it's simple enough for everybody to use. Lots of photos, videos, screen capture, auditory, audible We want visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So things people can feel, things people can see, things people can listen to. Hope that makes sense. And finally, just add it to your policies and procedures. Make sure that everybody's got access to that and they know exactly where that is. And as I said, schedule in some time for people to go and see that later. Listen, hope this has been useful for you. If you need any help on this, give me a call. Until next time, stay safe.